So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't even want to do this review. I don't even want to do this review, but I'm doing it for y'all because I know there's some people out there who probably want to hear what I have to say. And I know there's some Joseline's Cabaret fans that are out there. But at this point, I am so over this show. I am so over the Zeus Network and the way that they've been doing things lately. This show needs to be canceled, especially after I watched this so-called trash reunion part 2 that they just aired. We're on part 2 of the reunion and we haven't got any dialogue, any resolution, any conversation, any nothing. This was all a bunch of garbage. Screaming, fighting, spitting, yelling, pulling hair. I know we all love the drama and we love the fighting and we love the reading down. But at some point, we have to have some conversation and we have to have some sort of something, some sort of substance. And there was zero substance with this reunion. First of all, it was super over edited. And Zeus, I see you. I know what y'all are doing. Y'all are trying to protect Joseline from this lawsuit. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work because even though you edited the fuck out of this reunion in Joseline's favor, it's very evident what went down. It's very evident. And we're going to get into that. And how the hell did I go from hating Amber in the season to cheering and rooting Amber on in the reunion? Because what it seemed like to me was the girls on one side who were licking Joseline's ass and were doing whatever they could to hold on and grasp on to that last 5 minutes of fame and attention. And then we had the girls over here on the other side who had watched the show and were completely disgusted by the way they were treated. And we're not going to kiss and lick ass anymore. Okay, now let's get into it. First, one of my first notes is Diamond. Diamond wants to be so hard and so street and so hood so bad when she's all bark and no bites. If it wasn't for security, if it wasn't for the other girls that were on Diamond's side, Diamond, you would have got dog walked bad because you can't fight. It's obvious. Amber already whooped your ass in the season and you wanted it again. You wanted to get your ass whooped again because it was obvious how you were hooping and hollering and doing all that you were doing. And I don't have no respect for you, Diamond, anyway, after you kept spewing the N-word and after you hurt Amber in the season. And I wasn't even a fan of Amber during the season, but when you hurt her by calling her the N-word, and instead of going to this girl and trying to resolve it and apologizing to her and trying to get her to see where you were coming from in some sort of way, you didn't care. You just brushed it off. Diamond, you and Raven are two of the most conceited, self-absorbed, disgusting human beings that I've ever watched on reality TV, to be honest with you. You two girls were obviously two gutters. Ooh, I'm trying to be real clean and nice in this video, but it's hard to. You, Diamond and Raven were two girls from Florida, fucking and sucking to make money, looking for a come up, got on Joseline's Cabaret, and did whatever they could to get a little bit of 5 minutes of fame, get some coins, and they got it. And now they have let this shit go to their head. The host, first of all, the host, Janisha and Brittany Renner, they can't even ask questions at this point. Now keep in mind, we're in part 2 of the reunion. And they haven't got to ask any questions. They haven't got to catch up with the girls to see where they are, see what's happened to them since the show has wrapped. They didn't get to do anything because these girls were just the whole time. Like, I was so pissed and disgusted that I'm like, I don't know why Lemmy, the CEO, if y'all don't know who Lemmy is, you'll hear me say Lemmy throughout the video. That's Lamel Plummer. He is the owner of the network. Why he did not come in and say, if y'all do not, and he did come in, I will give him that, but I wish he would have threatened them more. Like, if you want your checks, if you want your money, you're going to sit down, and if you get up and you go towards each other and you fight, you automatically go home and you forfeit your check because we need you to work. You were there to work. Yes, there's some fighting involved in that work, but you were there for a reunion to reunite and get resolution and talk about what happened during the season, and we got none of that. So many fans are disgusted, pissed off, want their money back, and I'm one of those because the season was great. I'm going to give y'all that. you know, Joseline's Cabaret season 2 and 3 was great, but the reunion, like, what happened? I'm just so confused. Diamond and Lollipop are just screaming at the top of their lungs. K Capri is trying to get at them. Security is holding everyone back. It's just like every 5 minutes, every chance, every time they get the girls to sit down and they finally get everything to calm down, somebody charges at somebody again, and it just creates this clusterfuck of chaos, and we get nothing out of it but the fighting, and half the time security's in the way, so you can't even see what's going on. Like, I was disgusted, to be honest with you. And I'm like Janisha. Janisha is the host, and she is she is Lemmy's wife. She was the one in the purple jumpsuit, the host. She said at one point, this is the saddest reunion in history thus far. And I agree with her 100%. Like, she couldn't even do her job. These girls got dressed up, trying to host, trying to get the job done, and they can't even ask y'all questions. I did laugh at K Capri. I don't know, she's one of my favorites. Her and Amber, I was really rooting for them. At one point, K Capri said, SpongeBob, Shark Tale, whore, Joseline's little whores. And then Raven tells Lollipop, y'all noticed during that one fight that they had, Raven tells Lollipop, you got that bitch, high five. Like, I didn't see Lollipop do shit. Lollipop looked a hot mess in what she was wearing. And what's sad is Lollipop is a pretty girl, but her insides, she is just, it's all just, and let me tell y'all something. After this tour that y'all girls are on with Joseline's Cabaret, I hope you enjoy this tour, because after that, we're not going to really see y'all on TV again. If Joseline's Cabaret gets renewed for a season 4, when she brings in these new girls, y'all are going to be disposed of. You've seen what happened to Lucky and Sapphire, right? They came back for season 2. We never saw them again after that. You've seen what happened to Lexi Blow and Chanel. They came back for season 3. We'll never see them again. Speaking of, Chanel is not there, and I don't blame her. I give respect to Chanel, because she was one of my favorites, because she was probably one of the only ones that I felt like had some sense in the entire show. And she didn't show up. She didn't want to be involved with the bullshit. She knew what happened with the season 2 reunion. She wasn't coming back in for the season 3 reunion, and I do not blame her. Chanel, move on with your life. Get away from the garbage. It's toxic. It's draining. I got anxiety watching it. I couldn't imagine actually being there. After everyone finally shuts the fuck up, Joseline comes out. Now, keep in mind, Joseline doesn't come out until... So she didn't come out in part 1 of the reunion, and she doesn't come out until like 20 minutes into the second part of the reunion. And they bring her in a car. She drives in. Like, what? That was a hot ass mess. Why is she driving in a car? We're on a sound stage. We're on a set inside of a building. We're not outside. Why are they bringing her in a car? Like, I get you wanted to have some sort of grand entrance, but that wasn't grand in my opinion. Amber runs up as soon as Joseline sits down, and she charges at Diamond, and they start going at it. And I wish security would let them fight sometimes, because they always just separate them. Like, let these girls one-on-one get it. But you can't get any one-on-one action because somebody always steps in and wants to jump. Like, let these girls fight one-on-one. That's what I missed about the Bad Girls Club. A lot of times these girls would at least scrap one-on-one. Yes, there was jumping, but not like this show. This show has like a lot of jumping in it. Can y'all just sit down and we have a conversation? I give Janisha, John, and Brittany Renner a lot of respect for being able to sit there and compose themselves. Because if it was me, I would say, fuck this shit. Give me my check. I'm going home. This is complete and utter bullshit. I can't even host and ask the questions. So Raven, Diamond, and Lollipop. Those 3, y'all look so desperate for fame that it is sad. It's sad at this point. If Joseline said bark, you hoes would go woof. Like, let's be real. Joseline could tell y'all, get on the fucking floor and lick my feet, and you girls would do it. You would do it. I mean, let's be honest. Y'all would do it. And then here we go. Lollipop, she's sitting over there. nodding and no, I don't know. I can't stand Lollipop after this. During the season, she didn't get on my nerves that bad, but at the reunion, I was so over her. It was so obvious. Like, you can tell a lot of people, especially in reality TV, when they watch their season air, they get mad, they get riled up, and they go into the reunion with this attitude like, oh, I need to redeem myself. I need to look a certain way. I need to do X, Y, and Z. And that was Lollipop. After there's just so much fighting going on. K Capri runs backstage to take her dress off because at one point when she came out at first, she was dressed in all streetwear. Then after they got him to calm down, she goes backstage, she gets her actual gown on, comes back out, it gets so rowdy again. K Capri is pissed and she wants to change into her street clothes again because she's like, there. I remember her saying at one point, I knew I shouldn't have put this damn dress on. I knew I shouldn't have put this dress on. So she goes back and gets on her street clothes again, and it gets so bad. K Capri spits. She's spitting at them. Like I'm not excusing K Capri because girl, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. Why are you spitting? But I have been in moments before where you just be so fucking mad and you know you can't really do shit. In her opinion, security holding her back in this situation. You just can't do shit, and the only thing you can do is just spit at a bitch. When you feel like somebody is such trash, you just want to spit at them. But there's no excuse for spitting. Spitting really is just the lowest of the low, and it's nasty. And we're in a pandemic too, so your ass could have COVID, and you spitting on me. Yeah, I was like, oh God, K Capri, now come on. And I don't know when she spit. I don't know if that was. I'm pretty sure it was Lollipop. But Lollipop called her like a HIV infected bitch, and it's just like, really, Lollipop? First of all, you're offending people out there who do have HIV, which is a serious disease. And then you do realize you can't get HIV from someone's spit. That just showed how ignorant Lollipop was, going, you nasty, stupid, HIV infected bitch. Like, that's all you had, Lollipop. Come on now. It's 2022. We're not in the 80s or the 90s anymore. HIV is not what it once was. That was a very ignorant statement that you made. And I was just over her. Like, I'm like, somebody please take this trash out. And two, a lot of you girls suck and fuck for money. So you hollering HIV, this and that, you need to go get tested yourself. Because y'all be fucking and sucking and stripping in the clubs, but you hollering out something like that. Like, I just thought it was very, very ignorant in her. And she was obviously trying to show out, look cute for the cameras, trying to get points from Joseline. When at the end of the day, Joseline is going to dispose of you girls. She's using you girls. Can y'all not see that? Y'all are convenient for this moment in time. But when Joseline's Cabaret is over, which I'm pretty sure it is now, we're not going to hear from you. We're never going to care what Candy on a Stick is doing. You're going to be licking lollipops in the club again. Okay? Like, honestly, y'all, this shit lowered my IQ watching this. This entire reunion, it lowered my IQ. I lost brain cells. I was just like, this is so just beyond me to even be watching. Like, I thought we were going to at least get something better. At least with the season 2 reunion, we got some sort of dialogue, conversation. The reunion that was hosted with Lunel, you know, at least we got something out of that. This one was just awful. Amber and K Capri are backstage. And for once, I agree with Amber. Like, let Amber and Joseline fight. Because Amber kept saying, let me fight her one-on-one. And I agree with Amber. Joseline has talked so much shit about these girls throughout the season and called them out of their names and got in their faces and threw apples at them and shoved them. Let them fight her. Let these girls fight one-on-one. Especially let them get their licks in with Joseline. Because she's disrespected them for too long. Like, at least y'all could do is let them have a fair fight. If Joseline whoops her ass, okay, she does. If Amber whoops her ass, okay, it's deserving. Because I can only imagine, like, y'all should have left the cabaret when you were disrespected during the season. You shouldn't have stayed around as long as you did. Even though I can kind of see why some of them did, because they probably were thinking in the moment, okay, we've gotten this far. We've came this far. I've dealt with this much. Let me try to get to the end, and let me try to get my money. even though I don't even think there was a cash prize this season like there was in season 2. At least Chanel in season 2 got $10,000. You know, a lot of these other girls are flipping and flopping and hooting and hollering and sucking and fucking for free. Like, the Chanel, I have to give her props because she didn't show up to the reunion and she got her bag last season. So, let me see. And then all the jumping and the, just like, it's just, oh gosh. So, did y'all know, y'all seen when Lexi Blow was sitting there at the reunion, disgusted like the rest of us, and she's sitting there like this, shaking her head, and Joseline says, what the fuck you shaking your head for, ho? You fake, you fake. What the fuck you shaking your head? And I'm just like, that threw me off guard. And that's the thing with Joseline, she's so unpredictable. She will turn on you like that. I didn't even know Joseline and Lexi Blow had a problem. Y'all let me know in the comments, what did Lexi Blow do to be fake or be a traitor? Because I don't know, but Lexi, give it up, babe. You can't with Joseline. Just give it up. Let it go. You cannot win with her. I'm sure you see that by now. Like, I was just trying to figure out, maybe there's some stuff that happened off camera. You know, we found out during this taping that a lot of the problems that Joseline had with the girls was a lot of shit talking they were doing online after the show aired or while the show was airing. And I 100%, y'all, I 100% believe that Joseline, I believe the accusations that she's a cokehead. Like, it makes sense because she's just always on 10, always mad, always cussing somebody out. Like, this woman is obvious. I didn't watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, so I didn't get to see Joseline's storyline, her life, her story, but I don't have to watch it to see that she's a damaged girl who's been through a lot of shit, who's been abused, who's been verbally abused, because those who have been abused, abuse others, most of the time, not always. But the saying is true. Hurt people, and that's Joseline Hernandez in one fucking, yeah, just one big picture. So finally, Lemmy steps in and he says, I need y'all to stop. I need you to be quiet. We need to have a dialogue. And Joseline tries talking back to him in a way. She's like, what? We are having a dialogue. We are having a dialogue. And Lemmy's like, no, I'm telling you what I'm doing. And I'm like, come on, where has this been all my life? Because sometimes I feel like Lamel can be a little timid. And you're running a network here, buddy. You can't be timid and shy. I need you to raise your voice, put some butt in your chest, and get these bitches in line. This is your shit. And now you see what has happened, Lamel. You see what has happened. This reunion was trash, and a lot of fans are disappointed. You should have, from the get-go, did what I said. Tell these bitches you ain't getting your checks unless you sit the fuck down and have a dialogue. If you get off the couch and you start fighting and we can't get any content, you're all going home with nothing. That's what I would have done if I was running it. I mean, that's just me. So Lamel's talking to Kay Capri. He's trying to talk her down. And he says, the audience does not want to see this. No shit. We don't want to see this, but it's too late. Y'all are already, an episode and a half in of the reunion, and we have nothing but screaming and yelling and fighting. Like, we wanted to see some conversation. We wanted to hear about people's experiences during the show, what they're doing after the show, how they're doing now, what's your relationship like with her, what's your relationship like with her. We wanted to hear all that, and we got none of that. Joseline is even talking shit to the background. Y'all noticed in the background, which I thought was kind of cute, they had strippers on stages in the background in these cages, and like background strippers. And Joseline was even talking shit to them. At one point, she had said, "Can you quit clicking your heels? Can you quit like in a smart ass tone to a girl that's not even a part of the show? She was just paid to sit there and dance, and you talking shit to her. Now, if a girl would have come out the cage and clocked you upside the head with her heels, she would have been wrong, right? And Ballistic would have jumped in and put his hands on a woman, right? We're gonna get into that. Okay, so once they finally get some dialogue going, we find out that Kay Capri, Amber, Lexi Blow, Hennessy, Gaia, and Riri, they were all pissed that they didn't make it to the tour. That's what Joseline says. Joseline comes out and she says that these bitches are mad because Diamond, Raven, Monroe, and what's the other one's name? The other, I don't know, Lollipop, Candy on a Stick. They made it to the tour. She said they're going on tour, they're getting bookings every week without me, they're making money, and the other girls were mad. Now, I'm sure there may be a little bit of truth to that. Maybe there is some truth to that. I think if Joseline would have been smart, she would have had the entire cast go on tour, because us as fans watching the show, we each have our favorites. And if you bring this entire group on tour, we're all going to want to come out and see our different favorites. Lollipop was not a favorite. Lexi, or not Lexi, the girls that are on tour, the fans don't like them. Raven, big, what's the big saggy titty girl's name? Black Diamond, Lollipop, we don't like them. Now, Jordan, the one they call Monroe, the white girl, I like Jordan. Let me say this about Jordan. I have to give Jordan her props because she sat there. Actually, Jordan, we didn't get any dialogue from Jordan the entire reunion. Nothing. She sat there the entire time and said nothing. However, at least she had some class. She wasn't hooping and hollering and getting up every 5 seconds trying to be Joseline's minion and her bodyguard. She said from the get-go when the season started, I'm not here for the bullshit. I'm here to dance, and that's what she did. Her talent and her dance spoke for itself. That's why she made it to the end, and we never saw her in any of the shit. And I have to give Jordan that respect. I do have to give her that. She did not go on the show trying to be anything that she wasn't. She came in there just being herself. She owned that she was a stripper, and I have to give Jordan that. You know, I really do. And that goes to show that you don't have to lick Joseline's ass and be a minion to have gone on tour with her and made money. Jordan did it successfully, but Raven, Black Diamond, and Lollipop had to be the 3 hyenas, and they had to act an ass and act a fool. Joseline at one point says that Amber, she has a problem with Amber because Amber was talking shit about her child. I would love to know what that was. Amber did keep saying, what did I say about your child? What the fuck did I say about your child? And I think at one point, I don't know if Joseline, I feel like she told one of the hosts what she said, but it was just so much going on. I don't even remember what exactly it was that Amber had allegedly said about her child. But Joseline said, I invited this bitch into my home and she talked about my child. But I feel like anything that you could do or say could piss Joseline off. You got to walk on eggshells with her. That's the way I take it. Like, I would not want to be friends with somebody like that. You have to be a yes man when you're friends with Joseline. You have to kiss her ass, tell her yes, 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 ma'am, yes, yes, yes. And K Capri ain't that. Amber ain't that. And that's why Joseline don't like her. The rest of those girls in the corner, with the exception of Jordan, you know, they were licking ass and doing whatever. Now, the whole talking shit about her child, when Joseline says that Amber was talking shit about her child, that ignites a fight, and Joseline runs up on Amber, and her and Amber go at it, and one of Joseline's minions, I'm pretty sure it was Raven or Black Diamond, they said, you ain't gonna touch Joseline, ho. And it's like, y'all stop. Like, y'all are so obviously y'all are sucking the lips of Joseline's pussy so much that I'm sure her pussy is swollen at this point. It's so obvious that y'all are licking this woman's ass. A lot of these girls probably came from nothing. They're tired of being in the strip club. They're around this famous reality star who has money, and they don't want to lose that. So they're going to do whatever they can do to stay in this tight circle with Joseline. But like I said before in the video, when this season is over, she's going to dispose of you hoes. She ain't got nothing more for you. When season 4 girls come around, buy Black Diamond, buy Dexter's Laboratory, buy Candy on a Stick. Y'all got, I mean, like, it just is what it is. Am I the only one that feels that way? I love when y'all chime in and you give me your opinions, because sometimes I feel like watching this shit, I'm going crazy, and my opinion is only my opinion, but I need to know from y'all. Like, let me know. Please tell me that I'm not the only one who feels this way about the Three Stooges. Let's see. We talked about Jordan. And then Ballistic, you need to stay out of women's business. For real. Why are you even there? You weren't even a part of the season. They got Ballistic sitting right here Joseline sitting on one side. Why are you even there? Like, you were rarely a part of the season. Well, I mean, he was a few scenes. I remember that, but not much. Like, I just don't understand why he's there. And he was too involved with the women. Screaming, or not screaming, talking shit to the women. What you did to Amber was fucked up, Ballistic. And Zeus, we know y'all over edited it to try to make it look like nothing happened, but we saw what happened, because we'll get to that in a second. In the midst of all the fighting, Joseline shoves Lexi Blow, and that shocked the fuck out of me. Like, I was not expecting that, because Lexi Blow was not bothering nobody. She sat there and minded her business the whole time. I don't know what Lexi did to Joseline, but she did something, or maybe Joseline just did too much coke in the dressing room. But somebody please fill me in. She keeps calling Lexi Blow a traitor. You're a traitor. You're a traitor. And Lexi, I'm disappointed in you for punking down and not doing anything. You let this girl shove you. You let her talk shit about you. Like, why, when she shoved you, did you not come across and whop that hoe? Like, y'all so scared of Joseline for some reason. Besides Amber and K Capri. Amber and K Capri are the only two who stood up for themselves. And that's why I gotta respect them. I didn't care for Amber throughout the season, but I had to give her respect, because she came out there and she was like, I ain't having it today. And Brittany Renner, I just feel like, I don't understand why she's there. I really don't. She was a waste of money, a waste of space. I feel like she's a flip-flopper, and she's going to just say whatever is right in that moment, because when Joseline was talking about, when she said that Amber was talking about her kids, it's like, here goes Brittany, yeah, you don't talk about anybody's kids. Like, Brittany, you don't know if she talked about her kid or not. You're just licking Joseline's ass because she's right there in your face at that moment. And then you were talking about, oh, I just want to get answers, everybody. I'm not biased or anything. I just want to get answers. You're not biased, but in the first part of the reunion, you said that your favorites were X, Y, and Z. That sounds like bias to me. So Diamond and Lollipop, again, are doing the absolute most. It is unreal. Always coming to Joseline's defense. And like I said, she's going to turn on y'all. And I can't wait until it happens, because y'all are going to be on Instagram crying and talking shit, talking about Joseline's this and Joseline's that. And the fans ain't going to want to hear it, because y'all, while y'all over there talking about you riding with the wrong team, no, y'all are riding with the wrong team. Because for the entire viewership of this program, all the fans, none of us like y'all. I'm sorry. I've seen the comments on Twitter. I've seen them on Facebook, on Instagram. Nobody is on y'all's side. Okay. At some point, now we're getting to the lawsuit. So in the midst of all the fighting, at some point, Amber punches at Joseline, and it lands. Go back, rewind. I found the clip on Twitter where someone had, and I was pausing it and going back and forth. Amber eventually, like, gets her way through security, lands a punch at Joseline, and Joseline falls back and hits the floor. Now, when that happens, Ballistic rushes through the damn crowd and jumps on Amber and jumps on K Capri. That's where the lawsuit comes into play. Rewind a couple months ago, and you remember Amber and K Capri, and I want to say someone else. Actually, Amber's the only one I know that was really named in the lawsuit, actually filed the lawsuit, or I don't even know if it's filed yet. I need to do my research. Allegedly, there's a lawsuit against the Zeus Network because Ballistic put his hands on Amber. And we did not see him do it in the show because they edited it out, but we did see him dart through the crowd, and all of a sudden you just see a pile of people on top of them. Security's trying to pull him off. He was upset that Amber put her hands on Joseline, so he went after her. Now, I do get that you are wanting to defend your lady. You're not wanting to see her get hurt, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But this is two women's business, okay? This is between two different women. Now, I could see if Amber was on top of Joseline just giving her the business, But she wasn't. She got a lick in, and that's it. You should have left it alone, Ballistic. But you jumped in because you allegedly are on coke too, and you were just amped up. You should have stayed out of it. You shouldn't have even been on stage, to be honest. You should have been backstage or on the side of the stage supporting your girl. And now that you done jumped into it, I hope that Amber and them sue the fuck out your ass. Amber, K Capri, y'all are crazy if y'all don't push this lawsuit. And I wouldn't even be suing the Zeus Network. You need to be suing Joseline and Ballistic and take them for every dollar that they got, okay? Because, I mean, this was just a hot ass mess. And it was obvious that he had put his hands on them because both of their hair was messed up. Their hair was pulled back. K Capri's hair was pulled back, and not, some of you may say, well, what if that was Lollipop that hit her? Or what if that was Diamond or Raven? Not one time during this entire reunion did you see Diamond, Raven, Lollipop land any hits. They didn't. Security got them every time. Every single time. The only person that I think got a lick in was Amber towards Joseline. And that pissed the fuck off Ballistic. That pissed Ballistic the fuck off. And that's what made him go ballistic. Actually, and then we seen later, Ballistic had a scar on his face right here because Joseline was like, they hit you, babe? Did they hit you, babe? I don't know if that was from Amber and them or not. I feel like it was probably from all the tension and the tussle that was going on. Maybe security elbowed him or something. But he had some marks on him. And I feel like if they took this to court, they could subpoena all the footage from Zeus. Y'all can't edit, you know, you can edit the footage that we see, but if the courts subpoena the footage, you're gonna have to give it up so they can see what really happened. We see some of the girls towards the end, like after this happens with Ballistic jumping on those girls, it's obvious that K Capri and Amber are so pissed. And we, like, an SUV pulls up. We don't really see who gets in it, but you hear Brittany Renner say, I have a feeling that it's over. I think the show is over. And then, boom, it ends. And I was so confused. I'm like, wait, what? This is the end? This is the, like, no part 3, no part 4. Like, and granted, I don't want to see a part 3 or part 4 that's just drug out with the same fighting. But I was hoping for a part 3 and a part 4 of at least some resolution where they actually finally get them to sit down and talk. But it doesn't look like we're going to get that. What it looks like to me is that this entire reunion that they filmed was a shit show. And that it didn't get anywhere. They didn't get any footage. And when Ballistic put his hands on Amber and K Capri, Zeus realized how serious it had gotten. So they shut the entire production down. So they pretty much just aired what they had, which was garbage. They didn't have hardly anything. And that's why I think we had to wait for a month for the reunion, because they had to scramble and make something out of nothing. And it was complete and utter shit. Zeus, I'm disappointed. I've been disappointed in y'all time and time again. You need to hire new producers. You need to hire new editors. I have a feeling that Zeus is being cheap and probably just paying some low-budget editors to come in and do this shit. Go and get a new team of editors and producers, Zeus. And I don't mean you, Lemmy. Lemmy, you need to stick to being the CEO. You don't need to be producing everything. Get you a good team of producers and editors to come in and help with your new content if you're going to do a new season of Joselines Cabaret Season 4. Because this is just complete madness. It's uncalled for. And I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see... Like, I'm disgusted, y'all. I'm so fucking disgusted with this show and this reunion. I'm even mad that I wasted my 2 hours of my life watching part 1 and part 2. How do y'all feel about it? Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like you wasted your energy, your time watching this shit show? Do you want to see a Joselines Cabaret Season 4? Also, whose side are you on? Are you on Joseline, Black Diamond, Dexter's Laboratory, and Lollipop's side? Or are you on Amber, Riri, K Capri, and, you know, the couch on this side? I want to hear from you. What did y'all think about this reunion overall? Do you think this show should be canceled? Do you think that Amber and K Capri and them should push this lawsuit and sue Joseline and the Zeus Network? I want to hear from you. I love you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you go and check out my Bad Boys Season 1, Episode 9 review. It was a great episode and a great review. If you haven't, go watch that. It was a hell of a lot better than what this so-called reunion was. I appreciate you guys' love and support, and we'll see you next week. Mwah.